I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing these daily. I feel like that might become a lot. Whatever. So update yesterday. So I'm working on hiring virtual assistants. I sent out the little tests for them to do to see like if they would be a good fit. I sent it to like maybe 10 people. Only 2 of them got back to me. Yeah, only 2 of them responded and actually really well. So I got 2 possible candidates. One of them gonna be used for like more virtual assistant type shit. And the other one is gonna probably be like a social media manager, handle all my engagement scheduling. I've been finishing up getting my Notion organized. I also just hired somebody to clean up my Gmails, my personal and my business Gmail, because I'm not going through it. And I know there might be some shit I need. So do that. That done real quick. I feel like stepping into like a new chapter right now. This is the point where everything I've done up to here is gonna start to pay off. The last time I really saw some growth and movement, it was when I signed up for a coaching program or a challenge. That's when I really started to see some progress. That was the last time it like really happened. So the fact that I was just able to start this coaching program, I already know like with everything I've learned and for myself so far, when I was on a call with the guy, we were discussing the pricing and everything. I told him I needed to do it monthly because I didn't have the full 10,000 to do right now. Told me the price for the first month. I was like, all right, cool, I'll get it. After we were like getting everything set, she was like, man, you're gonna do really well. I can already tell like this is perfect for you. I was like, say less. He's like, you will more than likely make back what you're spending to get started within like the first month. You'll probably make that back easily. I'm cool right now. So I'm really like trying to use this time to start getting organized and all my shit like together. So I'm organizing my Notion. I'm about to start trying to like organize like my database, maybe like go mine for some content and just start scheduling shit because I have so much content that I could use and put out and like just have stuff posted for like hella long. So I might start doing that at some point. But right now I'm focused on organizing my database and getting like all my notes like about specific topics, all my stuff from my business in one place, all my personal stuff, like just getting everything organized so I can be like, have clarity is so key. Clarity is so important. So when you're doing this shit, you need clarity. And I know what happened with me. Like I would get to a point where I would just work for so much. Like you ever go out to eat, right? Let's go to all you can eat or like steakhouse, the Brazilian steakhouse where they just bring you hella fucking meat, pause. You ever go there and you just start eating. It's just like you get full, you start to feel it, but you're like, oh, that looks good too. I'm gonna keep, okay, maybe a little, I should stop. Okay, like you get to that point where you just like, oh my, like, Brad, it's too much. It's too much. You move like you stuck. You get that same thing when you consume a lot of content, but you never create any content. You get so much information and so many different things going on in it without you ever putting anything out causes a block, causes you to get stuck. It literally like keeps you in place. Creating is so important, and I don't like that they're trying to essentially get rid of creativity. When they started taking music out of school, taking like art out of the school, that's when like there's something fundamental about the need for creativity and expression. Like you need to get all the shit out. You think about you spend your whole day, right? Wake up, probably 1, 2, 3, 4 alarms, 5, 6 alarms for most people. Snooze all of them. You snooze all your alarms. Then you get up and you late. So now you behind. You gotta rush. You get out the house. You in a bad mood. You trying to rush, trying to get where you going. People driving slow in your way. Now you in a bad mood. You didn't eat. Like it. You get so many different stimulus, so much coming at you throughout the day. And then when we're being entertained, we're constantly scrolling with new subjects being popping up every day, a constant like dopamine or binge watching something. We're always consuming. We're always taking shit in. We're always taking in what everything is giving us. Not enough people spend time putting shit out, like creating shit. I don't know, like I want to study it more, like really find out what the effect it's having and shit. But I just feel like so much creativity being lost and so much, I don't know, there's a lot being lost with the decline of creativity out there. And it sucks. Creating is a release. It's literally a release. It's a way to express everything that you're feeling, everything that's going on. You can do so much being creative, just expressing it and putting shit on like that. I feel like creativity is dying. It bothers me. More shit. Some shit not really moving. It helps you so much. But I say all that to say, having clarity is so important when you're on this journey. And that's why I have so many different references and quotes. Don't remember where I got them from. I just picked up along the way. I got to start keeping and give people like flowers. Like when they tell you to start with the end in mind, it's so important. I remember I had a revelation. I started like on this entrepreneurship and started down this path. I remember I had a revelation. It was like the first time I set a goal. I got in the habit of like doing to-do lists and setting goals. And I was like, oh, because if you set the goal, you just have to work backward and figure out how to get. I don't know why that was such a big fucking revelation to me. I don't think I really ever understood the importance of setting a goal. The first time I really set a goal that I wanted to conquer was when I was working in the kitchen. I worked for a brand called True Food Kitchen, a restaurant in Walnut Creek. I was a chef there, helped them open that restaurant. A couple months in, they asked me if I want to go work at another restaurant in Palo Alto. That's where Stanford is. It's also like 30 minutes from mine. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. I can go. The first day I went over there, I was trying to decide if I was going to do it or whatever. I went over there the first day, and it was like the worst service I had ever worked in my life, bro. We were running out of food. We had to literally tell the servers to go out, make sure we go to the table, tell them we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this. It was bad, bro. I had like cooks ready to walk off the line. They were all pissed off. Dish area, there was shit just stacked all along the fucking walls. It was crazy, bro. It was literally the worst service I had ever worked in my life. And this was like 4 or 5 years of me working in the kitchen. I remember specifically because it was around Mother's Day. And it was the end of the shift, and I just stood there, looked around the kitchen like, I gotta do something. I literally felt like I had a fucking duty to like help that kitchen because it was like, it was so bad. The chef was trash. I ain't gonna say anything. But yeah, I felt like I had a duty to like help. When I decided to go work there, I literally told myself like, I'm gonna go help turn the kitchen around, like do something because this shit ain't right. This ain't how it's supposed to be. And then when I got to the end of that goal, about 4 or 5 years later, after me, shout out to P, the whole TFK, Darwin, Crystal, Floor, Janet, Richard, shout out to the trap. About 4 or 5 years after, we got the kitchen to where like it was cool, the culture was good, people enjoyed coming in, like we got it to a really good place. I remember just sitting there one day while I was sitting down, eating, watching the kitchen just kind of run itself, and I'm just like, yo, we fucking did it. That's crazy. That was the first time I helped implement a system. That's interesting. I don't have to think about it because I had never thought about it like that. That was my first time like really up a system to itself because it legit got to the point where I damn near I just showed up and kind of just made sure everything was moving the right way. I didn't have to check people on breaks to be like, yo, make sure real quick. End of the night, they knew exactly what they had to do when we was cleaning up. I didn't have to say nothing. I could literally just sit there service and just let them do the shit by themselves. If I needed to leave, they had it to the point where I could dip, they'd be good. Like my team was solid. Damn, I ain't never thought of that. That was the first time I really like some shit to be interesting. But yeah, that was my first time setting the goal. So when I accomplished that goal, that's what actually kind of started me on this whole content agency, marketing, all this shit. Like when I realized I accomplished that goal, I was like, okay, on to the next shit. I just didn't know what the next shit was gonna be, but it was accomplishing the goal, turning that kitchen around. That let me know, like, okay, I did what I can do. I don't want to keep doing this. What's next? Like, what am I doing next? Up until that point, I don't know if I had ever set a goal like that, accomplished it. I don't know if I had ever just had something that I wanted, like, this is what I'm doing this for, and accomplished it. And I'm like 20-something, 26, 27, something like that. That's an interesting thing to realize about yourself. I'm sure, like, there was things like I had jobs, like I was on a roll. Like, it wasn't like I was just trash and shit, but I don't think I'd ever had something. That's what it is. I used to be like naturally good at shit. I was naturally smart. I didn't really have to try in school. I was just like, I naturally understood it. Things that I put my mind to that I like actually tried, like DJing, photography, I didn't actually have to try to get good at those. They just kind of like came to me naturally. Up until that point, I don't think I ever had a goal. Even when I started digital marketing, when I was creating flyers, doing graphics, t-shirt designs and shit back in college, I never had a goal with any of that. It was just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Like, kind of good at it. People paying me for it. Like, it works. But there was never a goal attached to it. When I set a goal for the first time, like really set a goal that I wanted to, and then that was my motivation for my performance and everything that came along with being in that kitchen, it's completely fucking different. And once I started on like being on the entrepreneur journey and figuring this shit out, I got really meticulous about setting goals, because now it's like, and that was the thing. I wasn't even setting goals because it's like, oh, I want to do this in a year. Where do I need to be in 6 months? Shit, I never did this before. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I wasn't doing like research, figuring out, okay, where should I be here? What benchmark should I try? Like, I didn't know any of that. I didn't understand any of that shit. So I was just like, okay, I want to do this in a year. I have no idea how to do it. I don't know if it's possible to do it in a year, but I'm gonna try to do this in a year. That started to help build my drive and motivation, because it's like, for life, I want to make this amount of money every month, or this, I want to hit this milestone by this time. Like, okay, well, what do I need to do to get there? Whoopty whoopty whoop. Okay, well, whoopty whoopty whoop. Like, I don't know. It's something about realizing that goals really kind of drive everything that you do. They drive all of your actions, like all your decisions. When you're really passionate about a goal, when you really feel strongly about it, it drives everything that you do. All the decisions that you make, they kind of go through that filter of, is this helping me reach my goal or not? Think understanding that, and like I understanding the power of that, starting to put that into place for myself, and like really starting to set goals where my life becomes like, is this moving me? Is this moving me in the right direction? Is this moving the needle? Is this getting me to where I need to go? You're not gonna be perfect at it. It took a while. I'm still working. I still need to get better with my discipline. I eat out way too much. I eat way too much fast food. I really need to start eating more at home. I hate how I feel after I eat fast food, and I hate how I feel after I spend money eating fast food. But like, this is something about, I don't know, it might be stress eating, emotional eating, something, I don't know, something to figure out. It bothers me that I do it, but I also haven't got to the point where I can completely stop. I'll go like a week without fast food, or a week like just cooking at home, eating at home. But then I'll just get that one night where it's just like, I'm coming home from work, it's like, yeah, I'll get this Wendy's real quick. Like, it's hard to get to the point where you're just like perfect at. I don't know anybody that like, you're just 100%, but being able to control those urges and those impulses and delay the gratification. I remember it was a really good quote from Wilson. Something about like, happiness is just delayed gratification. I can find the clip, put it. But yeah, happiness is just like delayed gratification. That's the real measure of like how passionate you are, how determined and how focused you are about something. How much pain are you willing to go through? How much are you willing to suffer before you can reach that? And I don't mean suffer like pain, like to where you're physically hurt or you feel suffering. Not getting that donut is suffering. That's pain. Not getting that daily Starbucks is pain. Not binge watching, not spending hours scrolling, that's pain. How much can you put up with to get yourself to the point where you want to be? Not going out to spend money every weekend and put like random spending. Those are all forms of pain we have to endure. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be disciplined and not spend money tonight. I'm gonna be disciplined and not go out to eat. Like, that's pain that you have to give, that you have to deal with. Because the opposite would be, you get the food and you feel better. Like, you feel good. It's comfort food. We have to get really good at dealing with pain and suffering so that you can reach the life that you want for yourself. It's definitely not as fun, but I think in the short run, because you're cutting off so much stuff that you were used to, like the sugar, alcohol, like the shit that you really like enjoyed, where you got your pleasure, it seems so much harder because you're not getting the dopamine, those hits that you're used to getting. So you either go back to it or you substitute it with something else. Working out is a really good substitute. If you can use working out as your motivation, it's a really good substitute. So is learning and reading and being creative and going outside and like living life. That's all I really got for y'all. I feel like this was a good talk, but I also like kind of went off on a whole bunch of tangents. Long story short, clarity is very key. You need to have clarity when you're doing this shit. Because the clearer you are on what you want the end goal to be, what the end result, what you're looking for, that's all I got. Make sure y'all come back tomorrow or whatever the next day is gonna be.